We're feeling pretty confident, a little tentative on a few little bits here and there, but I mean that's always the way. And I think really, you know, it'll take a couple of gigs before we really settle down. First one, I'd be a bit nervy as usual. When you're doing so much new material, then it's always a bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, basically, I mean, it's going well. You know, well, it has to really, doesn't it?
We're ready. We're ready now.
Well, here we are on Ed Force 1, or Ed Force 1.5, I suppose, because it's a different aeroplane this year. Because the registration was India Bravo last year. Well, we've put a different aeroplane, and it's about 10 years newer than the previous one. This one's Romeo X-Ray. So we've put in some nice business class seats. We've put in some new carpets for everything. We've cleaned everything and sorted everything out. It's not, I wouldn't say it was the lap of luxury, but it's jolly comfy. So here we are in what would normally be 60 passengers sitting in this compartment space, and a galley and a couple of toilets, everything else. They're all gone. We've lined it with a cargo liner, and there's various information on here in terms of the loading and how much load we can put in and where it's situated on the aircraft along the walls. To accomplish the loading, we've got these 5 steel plates here, which in effect are pallets. The load sits on those. We've got 5 of them, about a ton apiece, so about 5,000 kilos of stuff goes in here. The only restriction we have really is that everything has to be able to fit through the main doors. As long as it'll go through here, it'll go on board the aircraft. Morning. Dreadful, isn't it? Well, here we are on the embankment on our way to Stansted. We're in civvies at the moment. Uniforms in the back, so I shall be finding a phone booth and having a convenient change of clothes. You believe a man can fly. So we be on our way to Moscow shortly, which I expect will be cold.
Figure 8 hours to load this the first time, because Jeremy has to find out where everything's going to go. We're bringing a bigger show to the fans this time.
This is all earmarked to go in the front hold, as and when I start packing it. It's a bit of a TARDIS. This is such a unique aircraft, and it's such a unique way of touring around the world, loading it on average anywhere between 4 to 5 hours. I've worked with lots of other bands, A-list bands, and I don't know of another act who would take this risk and would downsize their equipment to such a level. It's a high-risk strategy in terms of the people, the aircraft, the crew. You know, everything has to slot into place, and it's a big wheel on just one small cog of that.
The amount of flying we're putting on the aeroplane is actually not that great, because we tend to fly and then the airplane sits on the ground for 24 or 48 hours whilst we go and do a gig, and then it flies again. So it only flies when it needs to for us. In normal service, one of these airplanes, we would be hoping to do about 350 hours a month if it was flying for an airline or a contract. We are only probably putting about 100 hours on the airplane in 2.5 months. And here is Stansted.
The thing that I think keeps everybody awake at night is thinking of what you haven't done, because the band have been around for so long, but also because of the changes in the industry. There's a phenomenal amount of detail as compared to just the core of major things that probably were the key things in the business 30 odd years ago. And you know, you're permanently worrying about, have you thought of every detail, have you covered every detail off? in the various deals and transactions and things that are being set up.
In terms of flying, the most stressful things about flying on this particular tour are actually really not to do with the actual flying bits of it, they're to do with the administrative bits of it, because so much of planning a tour like this is down to the admin of it. There's no real slack in any of it. It's not like, oh, we can come back tomorrow and get it to work. It's got to happen exactly on those days, and it's got to happen like clockwork. We're in Moscow, and it's snowing, and it's cold.
It's snowing and it's getting colder. Tomorrow will be much colder, unfortunately.
You never guess where I am. 3 degrees difference, 15, 18 degrees, who cares? It's bloody freezing. But look at this, what an amazing place. First place on the tour. What can I say? Nostrovia.
How far did you come? How many miles?
It's 8, 9 hour. Special for this concert. Special to meet him and special for Iron Man the best.
Band's been brilliant. They've all been waiting outside in the freezing cold. God knows how they do it.
We stand here since 9 o'clock in the morning.
This is it. It's the old Olympic Arena, which is a massive building. Absolutely freezing outside, minus 20 degrees. So the doors have just opened out there, and some rather cold fans will start coming into here, but I'm sure we'll warm them up. It's good to get these tours rolling. You know, we've been planning it for months and months and months, of course, and it's great to finally get everyone out on the road.
So as you just saw, we had a little run through, a little demo version of the intro, going through a few ideas with Steve and Bruce and the rest of the guys there. I think we've got a little concept. Now we're going to put those ideas into some kind of comprehensive cue stack. So I'm not spinning plates at front of house tomorrow night on the intro.
Our lighting guy Rob is really good. I mean, he's a Maiden fan, so it makes a big difference that he's a fan of the band. And I think he knows what the band should be looking like and what the band want, kind of thing.
We've got about 80-odd moving lights, sort of split evenly between washes and spots. We've also got some of these great big wash lights with LED rings. They're show beams. They're really got 2.5K bulb in them. They're pretty punchy. We've got nice little LED strips around the chevrons that highlight the shapes of the truss. And we've got a good few hundred par cans thrown in just for a good measure, just to beef up the whole thing. Not to mention all our audience crowd blinders and follow spots. We don't bring anything, we just bring a lighting desk, that's it. All I've got is my lighting desk and these truss borders. Every single nut, bolt, bulb, cable is all supplied locally. I have to advance all this stuff, you know, a series of diagrams and equipment lists and everything else, 3D renderings and everything else you can think of.
with about 30 individual lighting companies who all then kind of give me their interpretation of what I've asked, and then we have to sort of fine-tune it and end up with something resembling this every day.